All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of
The Lo and Zo Show.
And today we're going to be talking to you more all about how you are the creator of your reality.
You are powerful AF, and it's time that you recognize it. This is going to be like a bit of a raw episode, which I'm really good at. I'm really good at like just getting people into their power through like a bit of a, I don't know, shakedown, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but it's time to step into this, you guys.
Exactly.
If you listened to our episode earlier this week, we definitely recommend listening to that one before this one if you haven't yet. Mm-hmm. But we really talk about stepping into your power and believing that quantum leaps are possible.
Yes.
The idea that you can create big manifestations in short periods of time because you are the creator of your reality.
You are that powerful.
Yeah, let's get started.
I'm Lo.
And I'm Zo, and this is The Lo and Zo Show.
We're coaches and entrepreneurs who firmly believe that an abundant mind is the key to an abundant life.
On this podcast, we're going to be talking everything from how to manifest more money, travel, success in business, and beyond,
to overcoming the blocks that are holding you back,
to rewiring your brain so you can easily attract whatever it is you want the most in life.
If you haven't already, be sure to join us inside our Facebook community, the Queen Mind Tribe, for daily tips, mindset hacks, manifesting tricks, and more that'll allow you to build the confidence you need
to manifest the abundant AF life you deserve.
Now let's get started. All right, so as you guys know, you might have known, if you haven't listened to our episode from Monday of this week, we, like Zoe said, we definitely recommend going back and taking a listen to that, but we launched our course, the Quantum Creators course, because we don't want you guys to, again, think of yourself as attractors anymore. We want you to think of yourselves as powerful AF creators. And that's what we've created the Quantum Creators course for, so that you guys can really step into that knowing and that power. And that's what we wanted to talk about today. And actually, one of our most listened to episodes is on the Lo and Zo Show is about how powerful you guys actually are. Like, you are, I think it was called something about you're powerful AF. We had so many listens to that episode. And I think it's because we all on this we have this inner knowing that we're actually so crazy powerful. It's the ego that wants to convince us otherwise. It's the ego that has doubt and fear. It's the ego that puts up resistance. So what if you guys could transform that part of you, or at least have a knowing that allowed you to step out of that ego quickly, so that when you are wanting to get intentional and manifest something specific, you just, without a doubt, are like, well, I can create this because I am the creator of my reality, right?
Yeah, and so that's what we have created, this QC squared course for you guys, a matter of 4 weeks for you to really transform that for yourself, to really step into the role of the creator of your own reality. And that first happens by you shaking up your perception of reality.
Exactly. So today we want to just kind of reiterate how powerful you are. And we want to talk a little bit about something that we've spoken about in the past, which is the observer effect. And for me, when I first heard about the observer effect, which was through reading Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, he talks about the scientific findings that prove the observer effect, which I'm going to kind of do a rundown of in just a minute. But literally from the time that I discovered I am the creator and I stopped looking at myself as an attractor, that is when I started quantum leaping in my business. That is when things actually started working for me. Mm-hmm. That is when I got out of the how, that I started visualizing what I wanted, imagining what I wanted, with an understanding of I create my own reality. I'm the god of my world, however it is you want to resonate with, whatever you resonate with in terms of, how you see yourself. But that is when things really started shifting for me quickly. So the observer effect, without going into too much detail, and I know a lot of you guys have already listened to us talk about this in previous episodes, is just essentially the effect that the energy from our observing or our thoughts on something has on creating that something in the physical realm. So it's really about the fact that on a metaphysical level, everything in our world exists as potential energy, and it collapses into physical or a particle, real physical matter through our observance of it. And I know people like Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and a lot of these quantum physicists, they talk about how without a conscious thinker to observe a potential in what they call the quantum field, which we won't go into too much detail on today, those things that you are observing around you, like reality as we know it, ceases to exist. If it is not being observed by someone, it is not actually existing in a physical manner.
And that's probably why the role of the creator resonates with a lot of you guys. And so does this being powerful AF. Is because that, when you're in your imagination, whether that be good or bad, for example, if you're someone who might be a worrier or facing anxiety, when you're having your imagination play out worst case scenarios, that feels real to you. And you can feel your power creating something within your own existence. And also on the opposite, when you are visiting a powerful visualization of something you want to see manifest, or listening to music that inspires you about your future, things like that, and you're seeing this unroll in your own mind as if it were a movie, and you feel that power in your body because you feel the emotions that is already there. You know that you're powerful. You know that you can change your own feelings, change your own future. That's all resonating with you because that is the truth.
Yeah, I think that's like when people first start getting into manifestation in whatever capacity, they start hearing about it. For what most people say, and this was definitely my experience, it's like something awakens within you where you're not learning it, you're remembering it. And when I started hearing about or learning about like the observer effect, it was like I was remembering it. It's like something clicked into place where I was like, this is like the truth. I know this to be true. And that was like, it's like I can sort of see and understand things like the observer effect much better than I can explain them, because it's like this intuitive knowing of like, I do have that much ability to bring certain realities into existence, whether it is what I want or not.
And that's why you guys are listening to this right now, is because you cannot perceive what you are not in the vibration of. And everything that we're saying is you remembering it. It's this comes with the spiritual awakening. It's just all about you recognizing and knowing your own power. And that's what happens when you receive this type of education that we're bringing to you in the course. You know it to be true intuitively, like Laura's telling you right now, and as you're probably recognizing, is that you recognize that's the truth. I am the powerful one.
Well, and like I know probably a lot of our audience follows other manifestation teachers, and many of them might have, very successful businesses at this point. They have blown up to multiple seven figures in a couple of years, whatever. People that consciously create quantum leaps in their life, the way that they see themselves is being powerful. They see themselves as being the creator of their own reality. And that's why they say, okay, well, I want to make this much money in this year or this month even. And because I am the creator of my reality, I'm going to do that. None of them do it by accident. That's what they all have in common. And Zoe and I have talked at length in the past about confidence and how to build it. We even had a program around helping you guys to build confidence. And I think that like, it's all kind of the same thing. That was at the time, like, we knew that it was important that you see yourself as being powerful and that you have this inner knowing and confidence in order to be able to create big results in your life. Now we're kind of just seeing how you can really just skip right to seeing yourself as the powerful creator, being very empowered in your understanding by educating yourself and then proving it to yourself.
Yes, and by proving it to yourself, you change your self-perception from any doubts and limiting beliefs you might have about the fact that you are a creator versus an attractor. You see that the role that you play in creating the new reality for yourself, like the evidence will show up. As soon as you start implementing what we're going to teach you guys, the evidence is going to show up. We're going to show you how to recognize that, but it's going to show up so fast for you. And it's such an exciting, fun process. Manifestation becomes fun and easy again versus being resistant and full of lack, right? Like questioning where the results are, trying to manage your own emotions, trying not to have anxiety because then you worry that you're attracting all the bad things. What if you could just liberate yourself from all that?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you say that because I have some like pretty big goals in terms of money, especially like this year, like soon. I want to quantum leap my way to like big monthly money goals, but I'm no longer in I'm not doing it out of ego. I'm not doing it out of lack. I'm like, it's fun. I'm the creator of my reality. Why not have all the money so I can impact as many people as possible and I can, support things that I really believe in and also just keep developing my understanding of how powerful I am. So it's like I set these big goals and I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Why not? It's
not
fun.
Like, it's not
it becomes like a video game, you guys.
Yeah.
Like if you ever grew up gaming like I did, like imagine if you could just literally create your own reality. Like, oh, I want a quantum leap. I want to make this much money. I want to fall in love. I want whatever you guys want. It's available to you. You just have to implement this practice. And it's just through education and then altering your own self-perception.
Which, yes, exactly. Which happens through the process that we're going to walk you through in QC Squared is like, one, it's going to be a process that you implement each day. But then two, over the course of the 4 weeks, we're going to have you start setting like small intentions for things and seeing how quickly they come to you, seeing how you create things so quickly and proving to yourself that it is your imagination that is creating the world around you. Mm-hmm. Like you are that powerful. And so I think that a lot of the work that we do in terms of our mindset that's sort of very mainstream in the world of manifestation All of it is helping people to incrementally work their way towards feeling more powerful. So we get rid of the limiting beliefs over time, if we're lucky, right? We never completely get rid of our limiting beliefs, but we remove the doubts, remove the fears slowly. And through doing that, we're able to step more and more into a state of power. And that's why we become more powerful creators. But what if you can just skip past a lot of that? Like I've given the example a million times, but I had been working on the law of attraction way of viewing the success of my business for over like almost 2 years. I'd been like reading all the books and implementing different things. And I was trying to get rid of the doubt and fear that was blocking my success. And it was not working for me. It felt like it just kept getting worse and worse. I kept getting into more debt. I kept worrying more. I kept trying to make myself stop worrying, stop having doubts, and all you're doing is feeding more energy into them. So it felt like I was like, I know about all this. I've already had a successful business. I can't make this work for me. And there was a much easier way, and it came through learning what we're putting into QC squared, implementing it every day. And that's when things started just like really shifting. And it hasn't stopped since then. The number of times my reality has shifted in the last like sort of 12 to 14 months is crazy to me, looking back at where I was, a year and a half ago.
Yeah, you're a different person. We're both different people.
Like we're different people, but our physical, because like the physical manifestations are just a reflection of the fact that you've stepped into a different way of being, right? But for me, that different way of being did not come because I was trying to sort through all of my limiting beliefs. I've actually spent very little time trying to figure out what my limiting beliefs are. There certainly are like fears that I work through and things like that, but it's not so much that I've worked through limiting beliefs. It's that I've stepped into my power and educated on myself on what that power is and how to use it.
Yeah. And it's when you see how powerful you are, like when you make a quantum leap, when you create a huge manifestation for yourself, it's like the easiest way to kill a lot of the ego off in whatever area that is. Like, for example, I can imagine like getting a publisher and getting a book deal. That just deleted all of these limiting beliefs. Like, who am I to think like I could write a book? Like, I'm just, sitting here in a house that's not mine, like babysitting kids. And like, I'm writing a book. Like, it released so much limiting beliefs that now I'm like, yeah, I know. I can write a book. I can get it published. Like, I don't have anything to worry about in that sphere anymore.
I think that's such an important thing to say. Like, we're trying so hard to move past these limiting beliefs, these doubts, these fears. What if you could just quantum leap your way out of them, where you, like Zoe said, you just prove all of them wrong, or they just become completely obsolete because you're like, well, I just made 20K in my business in 1 month. So all of these things that I had about my ability to make money, well, clearly that was never true. So it's just like not true for me anymore. And I talk to business owners especially all the time, but really like, it doesn't matter what you're applying this to, who say, I just feel like there's so much work to do, or I feel like I can't get, I know people I talk to who have been working on their business for ages, and they're like, I just feel like it's still so far away. Yeah. Like there's just still so many worries that I have. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't have to be far away, you guys.
Well,
like,
it doesn't.
Quantum leap out of it.
Yeah. The worries can be there and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Once you take on this process that we have for you in QC squared, like you can just trust that it's going to happen for you. The success that you're wanting, the, whatever hole or whatever void you're trying to like clear up and all that, you can bounce right out of it. Yeah. Seriously, in a matter of days.
I know. Well, and like the reason I'm going to get real honest with you guys, and with, I'm good at that because I get honest with myself every single day. The reason that you have struggled to create manifestations that you've wanted. And we're not saying like there might be some areas where you've been the manifestation, God of the world, but there's other areas that have you listening to this right now that you have not been able to create the results that you want. The reason for that is because you don't think that you are powerful. You don't actually see yourself as being powerful, as nearly as powerful as you actually are. If you knew how powerful you are, if you understood the way in which your thoughts create reality on like a fundamental level, if you drilled that belief into your mind, you would start knowing your power and creating from that place, at which point the doubts and fears and the ego and the, all of the imposter syndrome that we go through, all of that just becomes obsolete, right? Or it's like, it comes up for, here and there. It's not that Zoe and I don't still have doubts or beliefs. It's that we're like, oh, I'm just like out of my power today. I just have to step back into it.
And any of those imposter syndrome thoughts, like they just don't hold power. They might show up, but you're like, whatever. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
Clearly, you have no evidence to be here in my mind, so just move along now. And like you don't obsess or you don't feed your own energy into them because you know that you've created a reality that's much different than that thought.
Yeah. And like, what would be available to you guys if you knew this power? Like, and it doesn't mean that you have to believe in it all day, every day, but it's like on a fundamental level, you could be like, oh, I just realized that the last few days I was, what Zoe and I say is out of the quantum.
Yeah.
Or like, we just forgot. And then you could step back into this power knowing that you could create literally anything and everything.
Yeah.
Like nothing is off the table. What would you create? If you saw yourself as being God of your reality, you saw yourself being the sole creator of your reality, what would you strive for? And you knew how to observe that reality into being a physicality.
And all of that is in QC squared.
Yeah.
And this is unlike any other manifestation program, you guys, because it's going to shake up your reality, shake up your self-perception, but it's basically your toolkit for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like if you want to manifest for the rest of your life, just come back to this, what you learn in this course, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? I'm just realizing like this parallel with this between our first program, which was like, we want you to start feeling powerful. It's just at that time we were helping people to do that by building confidence. And now it's like, we're still having people do, it's still like, we knew we were onto something with that, but I think we were still missing a piece of the puzzle, which was like really seeing you don't have to build confidence when you understand how powerful you are.
Yeah, because once you
are
step into the power,
Yeah,
you are confident, but
exactly.
also once you get the quantum leap, like we spoke about, the limiting beliefs that you have that are limiting you from your own personal confidence, they're gone.
Exactly.
Ciao. See you never. Like, really?
So he says that at least like 3 days about like, or sorry, 3 times a day about things that she's like leaving behind, quantum leaping out of. She's like, ciao, see you never. She just like says it to herself, like off in the corner of her apartment.
Yeah,
I'm like,
say goodbye to the thoughts that do not serve me.
yeah, ciao, this or that. Like we're quantum leaping out of you.
Yeah.
And then she does. Yeah. So you guys, QC squared starts on this following Monday, and the registration period for it ends Friday night. So it's going to be closing. We do not know when we're going to be opening this again. It is, like we said, a coaching program at the price of a course. And like, it's just, I'm excited about it because I feel like I've just never put anything out there that's going to be as like esoteric as this, but it's the esoteric stuff, you guys. Like when we say esoteric, it's like not commonly understood or believed. It's that stuff that has had me create big things in my life.
Yeah, and we just want to raise the consciousness together, because when we can all witness each other's success stories, which is what's so great about a coaching program like this one, when we hear about other success stories, like when I hear about Laura's quantum leaps, or I know when she hears about mine, we're just like, oh my gosh, it opens up this whole new realm of possibilities for ourselves.
So true. Yeah.
And that's what we're going to witness. And you guys who decide to enroll in the course, this is what you're going to witness as well, is that nothing is off the table and everything is possible.
I think that's so true. When you see it happening for other people and like they're just people like you, that's actually how I've created some of my biggest quantum leaps. Was like I knew a friend that went into it. Actually, well, Zoe sitting here beside me, she went and like blew up her life, and I was like, oh, well, I think I could probably do that. But more specifically now, like knowing friends who implement this process, and clients as well, and seeing what happens for them as like almost overnight, that's where I'm like, wow, we're like so powerful. And yeah, it's almost like it starts to sometimes Zoe and I like make this joke how we're discovering all the biggest secrets of the universe, and we're gonna get like vacuumed out.
Well, sometimes you have that feeling, you're like, oh, I figured out the game, like almost like the Truman Show, right? Like you're like, okay, I know.
Is anything real?
Yeah, is anything real? I know all the secrets now. Like, are the aliens going to come down? Like, is the sky going to open up and like I'm going to fly out my window? Like, I don't know.
Don't worry, guys. It never has. That's not what's going to happen. It's that like, but you just start like seeing how fluid reality is and how quickly. I was just talking to a friend the other day. I said, like, she went on this trip with her partner. Like, they traveled all over the place for 6 months. She was barely working. She's like, not only did I pay off years worth of debt, but I came home with 20 grand in savings. And she's like, to this day, I cannot figure out how this was possible in terms of the money that I was actually making. Like, she's like, I don't understand. But it was like, and we started joking around about like alternate realities, which I am a fan of. Like, it's just something that I really like getting into the things that shake up what you think reality is, so that you can like I don't actually think it's necessary to manifest the money in order to have it sitting in your bank account. I think that it can just show up.
Yeah, it can just show up. I'm telling you, overnight I got 15 grand.
Yeah. Well, that was okay. So the last time we were in the studio, we were talking about quantum leaps. We were getting ready to launch QC squared. And as we were leaving, I was like, Zoe, how cool would it be if like one or both of us had quantum leaps between now and the next time that we're recording, which was 3 weeks? And so
We've had
like,
numerous.
Zoe, yeah, actually, looking back, we both did.
Yeah.
But Zoe, within like 3 days, was like, okay, so that thing that I was picturing that I thought was going to take 3 months, it just happened. And it was like 15 grand overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's happened to you many times,
Yeah.
actually.
But it's because it's fun. I have fun again. You know, I'm not worried about my emotions. I'm somebody who's just like, I've always been enrolled into the law of attraction content and like that idea, but take a deeper dive, which is what we're trying to show you guys, because I spent so much of my energy trying to manage my emotions and feeling wrong about anxiety, feeling wrong about being human. Okay. And I'm liberated from that now. So everything's fun now.
Well, and yeah, I mean, we both will do like a spiral into like our emotions when we can't get out of them. But Zoe especially is like, I'm in anxiety today and I'm in anxiety that I'm in anxiety and I need to get out. And she like tries to like claw her way out. And now it's like the anxiety just doesn't, like I still have anxiety about things, but it doesn't spiral downwards because I'm like, I can be in anxiety and make a whole bunch of money and have big things show up. In fact, I remember like having a course or a program launch in the summer, and like I had just moved into my apartment and I was like, this program launch has to go well because I can't afford my rent at this, next level Toronto apartment if I don't. Yeah. And I was sitting in a Starbucks and I was actually texting one of my friends being like, if the universe doesn't show up for me, like I was getting really righteous. I was like 5 days into this launch, nobody had signed up, and I was starting to be like, what the F, universe? Like something needs to happen. I was in a lot of anxiety, and a pay in full participant came through that was like, oh, okay, there's red. And like, I remember saying to my friend at the time being like, I don't know how that just happened. I was in so much anxiety, so much like, this isn't happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. And then it happened.
Yes.
So that like disproved everything that I thought to be true about manifesting. So that you had to be like
beliefs. Bye.
Right. Exactly. Where I was like, they're coming. I believe they're coming. Guys, you don't have to believe that anymore. Like there is ways to start tricking your brain into like just believing it's coming like more often than not, or just like starting to feel as if it's coming, but you don't have to be perfect about it at all.
Yeah. Just once you release that, like I said, it's so liberating. Release the perfectionism, release trying to manage your vibration, release trying to like manage your thoughts, like just give it a break. Cause like I'm somebody who's like just been so obsessed with that.
Like
and
that perfectionist.
Yeah. And just like making sure that, okay, my energy's all good. Okay, great. I can manifest today. No, you can manifest quantum leaps, and anxiety doesn't have to be you. It can be just something that kind of can float in, and you're like weather, like, okay, I'm going to weather this, but it's not a part of me and it will leave. And my anxiety leaves so much faster now. My doubts leave so much faster. Like nothing holds my attention or like my energy too long anymore. That feels unserving or uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got one more special episode for you guys on Friday, and that is the end of season 1 of the Lo and Zoe Show. But if you have been having lots of fun with us this season, we love the Lo and Zoe Show, you guys, and you give us so much love, and it feels so aligned for us. But if you've been loving the Lo and Zoe Show and you don't want it to end, then you can have 4 more weeks of us and like next level,
and like quantum stuff,
quantum leaping. Yeah, the Lo and Zoe Show on steroids.
Yeah, we cannot wait.
Yeah, exactly. So check out the link. We'll talk to you guys on Friday. We're going to be talking a little bit about the process of what it looks like to quantum leap on Friday. So stay tuned for that episode, and we'll see you guys then.
See you.
Thank you guys so much for spending a piece of your day with us and tuning into the Lo and Zoe Show.
If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate it and share on social media. Be sure to tag us.
Until next time,
stay abundant.